So what I want to talk about now is mirrorless technology. And I'm going to start off with one of Nikon's kind of entry level newest cameras. This is called the Nikon ZFC. As you can see, it's got this really cool retro vintage look to it. It has a nice grip to it. You've got this grip on it right here. This is a small rig grip that we've attached to it that I don't believe I have this up on the screen, but I just really like this grip. You can find it on our site just by probably searching Small Rig ZFC. If you can't find it there, just make sure to give us a call or shoot us a message. I think even Ken's going to drop a link down to it in the chat, so I appreciate him for doing that. But this is the ZFC. If we can go to camera 2 real quick, I just want to kind of check out these really cool settings on the top. So if you do have a relative that's used to operating an analog Nikon camera, they're going to be very, very familiar with operating this. You've got the shutter speed dial on the top, you've got the ISO dial on the top, you've even got exposure compensation here on the top. So everything is very tactical and manual. It's not all buried in menu systems like a traditional, mirrorless new age digital camera. You can do everything physically rather than through the menu. Now, this is one lens that they do offer with it. We currently don't have the 28mm kit in stock, but we have the body alone, and then we have the kit with the 16 to 50 attached. 16 to 50 is considered what's called we call these muffin lenses. Call them muffin lenses because like a muffin in an oven, they're going to rise, right? So to engage the lens to begin zooming, you have to kind of zoom it out. Otherwise, it's compact and stored away. But this is a great walk around kind of general zoom lens that you can buy along with it. But if you do want to get another lens with it, maybe a prime lens, you can also do that by just ordering the body standalone. Again, this is a entry-level camera, which means that it's not going to be full frame. So as you can see here, this is a much different size compared to the other Nikon camera I showed you. So here's the difference in sensor size. As you can see, one has a crop frame and one has a full frame. And you can see that the full frame one is about 1.5 times roughly bigger than the crop frame. This means a few different things. One, it means the sensor is obviously a lot more packed and dense with pixels, but that's okay because Nikon's built an excellent processor in this to prevent a lot of that ISO noise or cut down on it quite a bit. So they've done a great job of adding a processor, much like a computer processor, to the ZFC in order to cut down on that high ISO noise. But this is what's going to be considered a crop frame sensor. And this is going to save you a lot of money. By going down to a sensor this size, you're going to save possibly $1,000 or so. Now, you're probably asking, okay, well, is this really, really better than my iPhone? And I'm going to tell you, it is. Your iPhone's sensor is probably no bigger than 1/4 of your fingernail. And you can see from that, that is significantly larger, which means that you're going to get a lot more image quality out of something like this than you would even an iPhone. The other beauty about the ZFC, because it was designed for an entry level, it's also designed for digital users in general. This means that if you want to use it in conjunction with a cell phone, you could. It does vertical video. So if you're doing Instagrams or TikToks or what have you, it's going to allow for that. But in addition, you're also going to be able to see yourself without a monitor. So you can flip this camera around and use it like so. Or if you're vlogging and you want to create something for YouTube, you've also got that monitor here where you can control focus. And then obviously you've got the controls on the top where you can control exposure and everything else. It's got mic plugins, so if you do any vlogging or Instagramming or TikToking, you can plug a mic into this, and then it's got an HDMI out as well if you're going to do any video with monitoring. All around, a great camera. I'd recommend it either way with the 1650 or buying it standalone and then choosing another lens later, or maybe even renting lenses, because yes, we do rent the Z lenses here at Midwest Photo. But if you're not local, of course, then you can obviously get a lens, rent a lens a number of places. So that's the Nikon ZFC. Great little camera. I really like it. I like my favorite part about this entire camera is going to be all the controls at the top. I'm all about physical controls. I like to see what I'm doing when I'm operating a camera, and I don't like focusing on the digital part of it. I'm kind of, I grew up on shooting film. That's what I learned with first before I actually got a digital camera. My father gave me a film camera that I shot for quite some time. And I don't like messing around in menus, which is why I gravitate towards cameras like this. I really, really like them. So that's my recommendation on the Nikon ZFC. This is great for everybody from a millennial needing a Christmas present all the way up to somebody who might be retired who needs a hobby in their retirement. It's a great little walk around camera. They can create all kinds of great images. So ZFC, highly recommend. Let's move on to some of the full frame cameras and my lens recommendations for those cameras.